So in today's session, we just want to discuss about the data types in Java, and at the same time, parallelly, we are going to discuss about what are the variables in Java. So first of all, so we need to know about data types. So it is the primary topic we need to discuss in the starting at the basics of Java. Why? Because so with the help of the data types only, of course, we are creating a number of objects, and at that same time, we are creating a number of variables as well. So then, when coming to this data types in Java, so what is meant by a data type? So nothing but which kind of data that you are sending, or which type of data that you want to allocate to a program. So it might be numeric value, or it might be alphabetical value, it might be a character, or it might be an entire sentence or description. So whatever the thing that you are going to give to a program. So basically, in the earlier stages, yes, of course, we have given the text saying that hello guys, or hi, I am Karthik, or I am Sai. So you are giving the text. It is a text data type. And now we are going to discuss about how many different types of data types that you can give to a program while you are writing the coding. So how many different types of data types that you can give to a program to execute and give your required output. So when coming to these data types in Java, you can classify it as it is a classification of data which tells the compiler how the programmer intends to use the data. So how you are using the data. So by injecting the int, yes, of course, you can give the integers value. What is meant by integer? Integer is nothing from 0 to the numeric values 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 100, 200, 300, 5,000, like that. So like that, we have strings, boolean, float, double, and all. So I will explain each and everything, and I will specify the print and the difference between the data types that we have, and how many data types that we have, and what are they, and why they are used, and when they are used. So I don't like to take down the sentence for these data types. It is a classification which tells the compiler how the programmer. So here the programmer is the person who are writing or taking down the code. How the programmer intends to use the data. Intends to use the data. So when coming to these data types, so basically we have categorized the Java has categorized the data types into two types. So one is primitive data type and non-primitive data type. Primitive data type and non-primitive data type. So first of all, you need to remember about the sentence what we have taken down here. So it is a classification of data which does the compiler. The compiler is nothing but how you are generating the class file using Java C space class name dot Java. So there you can create one class file. So what is the class file? That class file refers to the binary bit code as I informed you. So whatever the sentence that you are giving to this Java, so at that particular time the class file will be generated. So with the help of that class file, now Java or the system, so wherever the system that you are, whatever the system that you are using to compile the code and run the execution, so that will convert the entire Java code into zeros and ones, as I informed 001110, something like that. So each and every character has its own binary bit code. So yes, of course, these programming languages will convert their entire program code into binary bit code, and that bit code will be understood by the system, and the code that you have written will be understood by your end, by the programmer. But the system can't get through that. So one second. Is my voice is audible to each and everyone? So then when coming to this types of data types that we have in Java, so we have primitive data types and non-primitive data types. So what is meant by primitive data types and non-primitive data types? So let us decode the each and every topic clearly. So let us go with the primitive data types first. So when coming to these primitive data types, nothing but these are the predefined sentence or predefined words. What is meant by predefined? Predefined is nothing but so. Let us take an example of your mobile phone. So if you open your mobile phone when you have purchased it, so they will give some default apps, nothing but Google Chrome, Gmail, Google Photos, App Store, and some of calendar and time. Um, so there will be some predefined apps. So I hope now you are understand about what is the term predefined. Predefined is nothing but they are inbuilt in your mobile. So what are non-predefined? Nothing but the WhatsApp. The system won't give you WhatsApp when you buy the mobile phone, or the mobile phone won't contain the Instagram. The mobile phone won't contain the Facebook. So these are all non-primitive data types. So let us take an example of like that. So which are the applications that are given by default are called as primitive, and which are the apps that you are installing manually by the Play Store is called as non-primitive. So when coming to the Java point of view also, when coming to the primitive data types, they are predefined data types provided by Java language. Yes, of course, they are inbuilt. You don't have rights to that install or delete that one. Why? Because they are inbuilt in their motherboards in the mobile phone. So likewise in Java point of view also, yes, of course, we have some predefined data types. Predefined data types. So this automatically the non-primitive data types are nothing but the manual data types that you are allocating. That you are allocating. When coming to this predefined data types, yes, of course, we have 8 types of data types. 8 types of data types. So when coming to the first one, yes, of course, we can go with the byte and then short, int, long, second, float, double, boolean, and char. So these are the 8 types of primitive data types that we have, which are predefined data types in Java. Which are predefined data types in Java. So when coming to this each and every word, so there is a separate principle and working functionality for each and every word that I have written over here. And while you are taking the class name, so until now you have taken the class name as test demo, your name, or you have taken a number of things as the class name. But you are not supposed to use this words as your class name or any other variable that you are creating and anything that you are doing in the Java code, you are not supposed to use these words. So whenever you are using these words, then Java will read that, okay, my user is trying to give one data type. He was trying to give one data in the form of byte, in the form of short, in the form of int, long, boolean, double and char. So it will recognize like that. It will recognize like that. So when coming to this byte, so this byte, short, int, long, float, and double. So these are all the numeric value expressions things. So until here. So these are all the numeric value data types. Numeric values. So what is meant by numeric values? The numeric values are nothing but the numbers. So what are numbers? So when coming to the numbers, yes, of course, it might be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, something like that. So yes, of course, each and every number that you want to give to the program, they are the numeric thing. But there are slight difference between the storage capacity and also the terms that we are using in the primitive data types. So when coming to the byte, so it was the shortest form. The storage capacity of the byte is very low. It is an 8-bit. So what is meant by bit? As I informed you, the Java code will store the entire data in zeros and ones. So the capacity of that one will be 8-bit. 8-bit. So when coming to the short, so short is 16-bit. 16-bit. So when coming to this int, so basically in the most of the programs you will use int. Why? Because it was a standard store. It has a standard storage capacity. It has a 32-bit capacity. So where you can store the normal values that you have. It might be employee ID or the roll number. So whatever the thing that you want to do. Yes, of course, most of the scenarios they will use int. It has a standard capacity. Nothing but when coming to the real time, so if the mobile phones also, if there is in 12 GB RAM, 16 GB RAM, 4 GB RAM, and 8 GB RAM. So why do we prefer 8 GB RAM? Why? Because the 8 GB RAM is enough and sufficient for us to work on. Whether you are playing games, whether you are using the things in the mobile phone, 8 GB RAM was sufficient. So likewise in the Java programming also, we use int as a data type for the numeric values. Why? Because it holds the standard thing and it was enough for us to store the data and pass the values as a data type. And when coming to this long, So long is an 64-bit. So while you are saving the employee mobile number, so it is a 10-digit mobile number, 9177715334. This is a 10-digit mobile number and it is in large, it requires the large storage capacity. So at that time we are using this long. We are using this long. And when coming to the float and double, so these are the decimal values. So what is meant by decimal value? So nothing but if you open your phone pay and if you check your check about your balance. So if you are holding a bank account and if you check for your balance account, so it will say 500.68. So it won't give you a perfect value. So whenever you open the phone pay and search for the balance, it won't give you the perfect value. Why? Because it requires the decimal value. Even the paisa was counted. 68 paisa is also counted. In the earlier stages, yes, of course, we have 10 paisa, 25 paisa, 50 paisa coins as well. So likewise, to store the decimal values, yes, of course, we are using the float. And float is an 32-bit store has 32-bit storage capacity. So when coming to this double, since double and the long are the same, so therefore the large capacity is to store the numbers in them, and it is also a 64-bit. But it will store the decimal values in it in the capacity of 64. Capacity of 64. And then when coming to this boolean and char, this boolean is an expression where it will say the condition as a true or false. The condition as in true or false. So when coming to this Boolean expression, so it only has true or false, true or false. So when coming to this char, so character will store the 16-bit and it was a unique code thing and it will store only the character. So what is meant by character? A is one of the character, B is one of the character, C, D. So all the alphabets from 1 to 26, we have 26 alphabets, right? So each and every 26 alphabets are characters and they are being stored with the help of char keyboard. And it was a 16-bit and it was in 16-bit. And I will take down the syntax for each and everything later. So first of all, please try to understand what is the primitive data type and how many types of primitive data types that we have, and what is the functionality and what is the working principle of each and every word that I have taken down in the notepad. And then let us go with the non-primitive data type. So when coming to this non-primitive data type, non-primitive data types, they are not predefined. Predefined is nothing but, yes, of course, Java won't let you give that. Yes, of course, it was a predefined, so you must have to compulsory use these words. It wasn't based on the requirement. So based on the requirement and based on the logic that you are thinking, yes, of course, you can use this non-primitive data types in your entire code. Non-primitive data types are and that code. And these data types are created by the programmers. So programmers are nothing but us when you are writing a code or when you are developing a code. So you as a programmer, you can take down these non-primitive data types and you can store the values in it. So let us take down what are the non-primitive data types that I have that are there in the Java point of view. And when coming to the non-primitive data types, we have string. So please make a note of it. So whenever you are taking down the string, the S must be capital. Please make a note of it. So whenever you're taking down the string in your code, in your entire code, so if you are writing 1,000 lines of code, 2,000 lines of code, or 2 lines of code also, whenever you have seen the string word, the S must be capital. And it was a thumb rule. Okay. String, array, and we have class, and we have interface, and we have collections as well. Collections as well. So these are all the non-primitive data types. These are all the non-primitive data types, and I will explain each and every topic when going to the further thing. Each and every topic was explained detailedly when we are going further. So until then, I will just explain what are the things of string and what is the functionality of the array and what is the functionality of the class. Already, I think I have gone through the class in the yesterday's session. So what is the class? I have described it with an example of a car or the mobile phone and the things. And I need like to discuss about the interface, and at last I would like to discuss about the collections. So first of all, let us go to the things when coming to the strings. it represents, and the functionality of the string is to store the sequence of the character. So what is meant by the sequence of the character? Here character is nothing but the alphabets. Alphabets. When coming to the alphabets, suppose we have A, B, like that. So likewise, when when you have taken the string, so you can store the sequence of the character. So when coming to the sequence of the character is nothing but, yes, of course you can save the hello world. So this is the sequence of the character. So likewise, when you are giving the string, yes, of course you can save the word. Word is nothing but hello, Karthik is a word, Surge is a word, Wi-Fi is a word, password is a word. So likewise, yes, of course you can save the sequence of the character by using the string data type, string non-primitive data type. And when coming to these arrays is the collection of elements of the same data type. So you have n number of values to save. You have n number of what is that numbers? Some you must have to store the numbers from 1 to 100. 1 to 100. At that time, you will take this arrays. You will use this arrays principle and concept to store n number of elements of the same data type. Same data type. And yes, of course, we have a separate section on the arrays. Yes, of course, you can go through that. And then when coming to this class, so class is a blueprint for creating an object. Class is a blueprint of creating an object. Creating an object. And arrays is a collection of elements of a single data type. Single data type. And when coming to the interfaces, yes, of course, we are taking down the business logics in it. Business logics or business rules. Yes, of course, once we are in the interfaces, yes, of course, you will understand what is an interface and why we use interface in the real time scenarios. So when coming to the collections, so collections is a structure based thing which is used to manage the data, and also for the storing purpose. And as of course, you can perform n number of operations, CRUD operations also. Collection of data, and also you can perform CRUD operations. CRUD operations. So what is meant by CRUD operations? Yes, of course, in the further classes you will know about what is the CRUD operations. So CRUD operations is nothing but creating, retrieving, and updating and deleting. So this is the full form of the CRUD operations. So this is about the data types, and this is about the primitive data types and also the non-primitive data types. Non-primitive data types. And let us now know about what is a variable. Variables in Java. Variables in Java. So when coming to these variables, so variables are nothing but it was a container, so which holds your value. So nothing but if you are giving to your mobile, it was an 8 GB RAM, so it requires a container to store it. So in your mobile motherboards, they will give a container to store your RAM chip. So nothing but if you have n number of clothes in your hostels or in your home, so you need one storage container to store all your clothes, one cupboard. So if you have a number of what is the trash, and you need you need one refrigerator to store all your things. Nothing but it was a container. So likewise, when coming to the variables, so variable is a container which holds the value, which holds the value. Value is nothing but so whatever the data that you are passing. So if in integer, so I'm using the int data type, and I was giving 10. 10. So for that, I need to name one thing. I need to name one. I need to name a int I is equal to 10 or int a is equal to 10. So here the value of a is 10. So how you do that? So here a is the refrigerator, and I am storing a value in it. I am storing some vegetables in a. So if I open a cover or a container, so what I will get? I will get the vegetables I have stored in a. Okay, so likewise, so this variables is the container which holds the value while the Java program is executed. It acts like a container. So please remember, right? It is a container. It is a container which holds the value. Which holds the value. So when coming to these variables also, yes, of course, we have three types of variables, and basically we are not defining the three types of variables. We are defining the entire variables into two types. One is global variables, and another one is local variables. global variables and local variables. So these are the two types. In these two types, yes, of course, they are classified into another two types. Yes, I will explain. So basically, in the most of the times, in the most of the institutes and all, yes, of course, they will let you know about when coming to the variables. Yes, of course, there are three types of variables. But not that that was not right. Yes, of course, that was right. But we need a detailed explanation of what is a global variables and what is a local variables and how many types of global variables are there and how many types of local variables are there. So when coming to these global variables, so global variables are nothing but created in the class, created in the class. So in the class, as I have informed you, class has n number of properties and n number of actions. Nothing but class has n number of variables and its methods. So the properties are the variables and the actions that are performed are called as methods. So inside the class only you are taking down these variables and the methods. So if you are taking down these variables inside the class, and as of course you might have n number of methods. So now you can use that. So nothing but let us take an example. So let us assume that your class is your home. Okay. So in your home you are four people, mother, father, two children, and then we have n number of actions to perform. Okay, actions, so let us keep it aside. Actions are nothing but let us assume that it was a method. So now in your refrigerator, so let us assume that your father brought 2 liters of thumbs up and keep it in the refrigerator. So now as a family member and as an younger child, so you can go and open the refrigerator and drink the thumbs up. Your mother can go to the refrigerator and open the fridge and she can drink the thumbs up, right? Now the thumbs up is a global object in your entire home. So if you are having grandfather, grandmother, yes, of course they can go to the refrigerator and open the fridge and they can drink. Understood? Understood the example. So when coming to this Java point of view, so when you are taking down the global variables, so you are allocating the variable in the class. So now you can write n number of methods. So let us assume that n number of methods are grandfather, grandmother, you and your sister, your brother, your father and mother. So once you have brought the thumbs up and keep it in your class here is nothing but your home. So if you kept that thumbs up, yes, of course, each and every method can call it. Each and every method can use it. So nothing but, so let us assume that when coming to the local variable, so you have a separate room. So assume that in your home there is a 3 BHK. So in that 3 BHK they have given you one bedroom. So in that bedroom there is an another refrigerator and it is your personal refrigerator. And you brought another thumbs up and you have kept in the refrigerator. And now nobody, your mother won't come and drink that drink. Your father won't come and drink that one. Why? Because it was a local thing in your local bedroom and you're in your private space. Understood? So that is the only difference between the global variables and the local variables. So global variables, yes, of course, each and every method in the class can access. But when coming to the local variables, only that particular method. So method here is nothing but I was the method. The method was on my name, Karthik bedroom. So in my bedroom, yes, of course, I have created one object. I have bring one variable with saying that string thumbs up is equal to thumbs up drink bottle. So likewise. So now I can only access the thumbs up water bottle, which is in the local in my method. So if I given the thumbs up to the global thing, nothing but if I injected that, if I kept the thumbs up in the entire kitchen in my home, 3 BHK plan. So now each and everyone can go to the refrigerator and drink that thumbs up. So likewise, when coming to the Java point of view, when coming to these global variables, so in these global variables, yes, of course, we have two types. So one is instance instance variable, and another one is class variable. So what is meant by instant variable? So instance variable, yes, of course, we have another name. It is a non-static variable. Non-static variable. So please remember that. So whenever you have used the keyword static, the s must be small. The s must be small. For the string, the s must be capital. For static, s must be small. So when coming to this class variables, it was a static variables. Now, what is the difference between the non-static variable and the static variable? So when coming to the non-static variable and the static variable, so static is a keyword which has a separate memory base. Memory allocation when it comes to the backend. Memory allocation, it was a separate recommendation or the preference. And whenever you are using the static keyword, so no need to duplicate that variable or anything. It has a separate base So where you can call them directly, no need to use reference. So nothing but I will decode the thing. So let us assume that, so I am from my hometown Kakinada. So one of you came to my hometown, so with the reference of me, so you have came to my hometown and we are going to play cricket. So my friends in my local, so don't know your name, don't know anything about you. They simply call you with the help of a please call that Karthik friend who came with the Karthik and let him join in our team. You need that reference. You need that reference. So likewise, so static here is nothing but it has a local thing. It has a local what is that name? So I had name in my street, in my locality. Each and everyone know me as a Karthik. In ground also, yes, of course, my friends know me as a Karthik. But you are as a non-static variable, as you are non-local, so you don't have any name and you don't have any what is that? You don't have any identity there, and you don't have any friends there to talk or to play, but you had a reference. So what is your reference? Your reference is me, which is a static thing, which is the local boy. So yes, of course, they will call you and they will get you can make friends with the help of my reference. So that is how. So whenever you are using the static keyword, you don't need any recommendations or any reference. You can directly call that variable. But whenever you are using the non-static, so non-static is nothing but so you need any reference to call that value, any reference to call that value. So once I am taking down the code, yes, of course, you will understand how I am writing down the things. How I am writing down the things. So then, when coming to the local variables, yes, of course, in the local variables, we will call it was not categorized into any other types. It was categorized into local variables only. So these local variables are written in the method as well. So I will take down the things how we can take down the syntax for this what is that variables, and also the static variables and non-static variables and also the local variables. So when coming to this thing, so the syntax is nothing but the rule that you must have to obey, the rule that you must have to do. What is the rule? So nothing but if you want to watch any movie, yes, of course you must have to wait for that one, wait for that release, and you must have to buy that ticket, and you must have to go there, show the ticket, and you must have to go and sit in the particular ticket. And this is all a process, a procedure, step by step. So first of all, you will decide the time, you will decide the show timings, and then you will decide to take the tickets. So which tickets you need to take, whether it is on the A row, B row, or C row, and then you will select the step two as done, and then you will purchase the ticket. Step three done, and the fourth one, yes, of course, you will go to the movie theater and you will show that, and you will go and sit in your particular seats. This is all the procedure. So when coming to the Java point of view, if any of the person saying that it was a syntax error, you are making a syntax error, or it was a syntax thing, or please remember, or please write down the syntax. So syntax is nothing but the process or the procedure or the steps that you need to follow while initializing any of the thing, any of the functionality that you want. So when coming to this syntax, variable syntax, so the syntax will be the data type. The first one you need to mention the data type. So it might be string, array, int, boolean, character, double, float. So whatever the data type that you want there, yes, of course, please take down the data type. And then variable name, variable name is equal to, and yes, of course, you need to assign the value, variable value, and this is the syntax. This is the syntax. And for your understanding, so yes, of course, I will take down the things for you. I just taking int a is equal to 10. Int a is equal to 10. So if you see the syntax, the first one, yes, of course, I have obeyed int. It was a data type as I informed you. So the variable name, so you can take whatever the variable name that you want. And there are rules to create this variable name, and I will explain you at the end of this session. So when coming to the variable name, I have taken a. Yes, of course, you can take Karthik. You can take a test. Yes, of course, you can take n number of lines. You can take hi, hello, this is no space, this is integer. So likewise you can take. So this entire thing is now a variable name. So you will get confused if you use that kind of variable name. So please try to use a, which is better for us to recognize. And then let us take down the static variable. So static, as I informed you that static is a keyword. So where you must have to use the lowercase. Static int a is equal to 20, or else let us take b is equal to 20. So this is the static thing, which is local, and no need any recommendation. You can directly call it in the method. You can directly call it in the method. So when coming to the local variables, as I informed that, so I will take down the code over here. I will take down the code over here. So in this code, so I just taking down the public class test. So this is the class. You all are aware of why I have opened the curly brackets and why I am closing these curly brackets. And then here, so I was taking the global variables in the class level only. I am taking the global variables. Int a is equal to 10, and it was a non-static thing. It requires reference or reference, and then I have taken the static thing. Static int b is equal to 20, which is local and no need any recommendations. So now I am taking down the simple method. So yeah, suppose I didn't taught you about the methods. Yes, of course, in the tomorrow session I will explain you what is the method and what is the syntax of that. So until then, please try to remember that public static. So in this, as I informed you that this is a local thing, I can directly call it in the sysout statement. In the sysout statement, I can directly call b, and it will print. I can directly call the b, and it will print the value. It will print 20 value. But I can't take down the things easier for a. As I informed that a is not a non-local boy, so he needs the reference. So which reference is required? He required the reference of the same class. Test. So test is my class name, and t is equal to new test. So you're supposed to understand the syntax. You're supposed we need to go through the constructor. So first of all, we need to go with the methods, and then we need to go with the new keyword, and then we need to go about the variable. So here the t is the variable, and this is the data type. How test is a data type? As I informed you, in the non-primitive data types, you can make a class as a data type. So this is a class name, public class test. This is a class name, and with the help of that class name, I have taken this t. So now with the help of t, you can call each and every method in that class, each and every variable in that class, each and every variable in that class. So now with the help of this t, so now what I will do is I will take down the sysout statement. In the sysout statement, I will take down t dot a. So here t is a recommendation or reference, t reference. So t is the variable which I created. I have duplicated the entire class here. I have duplicated the entire class here. So nothing but what is meant by duplication. So nothing but nowadays, yes, of course, you are buying clothes, chappals and all. You are buying first copy, second copy and all. So it will look like the same first original copy. Am I right? We have a number of earbuds and all, the first copy. So whenever they are making the duplicate, you can't find whether it was an original or duplicate when it was a first and master copy. So at that time, yes, of course, the price is different, but whatever the functionalities that the first copy was doing, or the original copy was doing, or the original product was doing, it is applicable for the first and master copy as well. Yes, of course, you can connect your earbuds with your iPhone. You can use them. It will connect to n number of iPhones. Yes, of course, it will do the same functionality, but the only difference is here the copy. So likewise, here I have duplicated the entire class with this line.